a chance for Gawn. Plenty of noise. And he gets one for the D's.
Oh, let's have a look at that one again. Harms goes up a mile.
Hello everyone and welcome to another edition of Inside Melbourne. We're here thanks to Zurich, fresh and raring to go after a week's break, of course, with the bye. I've got our wonderful co-host here with us, Max Gawns. Maxie, how was the break?
Getting used to saying that, aren't you?
Yeah.
It's going to be interesting when Clint comes back. But no, the break was good. I'm not someone who really requests the bye. I'm not the biggest fan of it. I'm happy to just get 22 weeks over and done with. So I didn't really need the mental/physical break, but I used it. I mean, when 4 days get shoved at you, you're not going to say no. So I went to Sydney. It was beautiful. And today, I know there was a little pause there. So my job's to introduce the guests this week, which I'm excited to do. It's my first time with that responsibility. And we got a great guest, Caty. I'm not sure how much you know about this guest, but we've done a lot of trips together. We're very, very close. Bit of an age gap, but hasn't stopped us. James Harmes, welcome, Jim.
Thank you, guys. Thank you for having me.
You look very excited to be here.
I am. I'm actually pretty pumped. So
you've heard great things about the podcast.
A lot of great things going around the change rooms about it actually. So yes. And
we got two great hosts. Hopefully, we'll both remember you in a couple of weeks, because Caty's already forgotten Melky, but. Anyway.
Just had a little awkward moment there, but that's okay. Harmesy, you spoke about being excited, but I reckon you permanently look excited. You've always got the big grin on the face and ready to go.
Yeah, that's probably one of my main features is a big smile. I've had that my whole life and, pretty happy, fun-going person. So, yeah. Pretty happy to have had the break. What did you get up to for the bye? I was really happy to actually get it. Unlike Max, I was actually looking forward to it. My body kind of needed a rest. Just got back home, watched a bit of local footy, which Maxie loves, and got to watch my little brother play in the Dandenong Stingrays for the first time. So headed back home and caught up with some family.
Outside chance to get drafted, didn't he?
Yes and no. He's got to have a big year, big second half of the year anyway. He's only played 2 games this year and he's a top ager. So.
What's he like as a 17-year-old? A bit like yourself? Enjoy a few frothies and maybe like the social side of the 18s a little bit more than football? Or?
He's probably a bit quieter than me. I did like a beer back in the day. But he's a bit more quieter and he's got the girlfriend, so he's there around there every night.
You'll get one day, mate.
Young love.
Yeah.
Maxie, what about you? What did you get up to for the bye?
I went to Bondi.
Bondi hipster with the beard.
Yeah.
Would have fit right in.
Yeah, I probably shouldn't have gone to Bondi. It wasn't hot, so I didn't really enjoy the beach too much. Although I do like something about like listening to music and being cold on the beach is actually quite relaxing. But and then made a trip up to Sydney every day. In fact, the last day I did the worst thing I've ever done. I got dropped off at Spit Bridge. You're not. I think that's right. Split Bridge or Spit Bridge. And I got told to walk to Manly. You'll love it. So I started the hike to Manly. 2.5 hours later, I end up in Manly. It was one of the hardest walks of my life, and I wore casual gear, jeans, and I was sweating in a storm, and managed to have to come back and train. But it was good to get away, but I didn't really need it.
Okay, well, we'll have a look at the footy. Obviously, it's been a bit of a break with the podcast. Winding the clock back to Queen's birthday, what was the process after that match in terms of the review and then your break?
Yeah, we caught up after the match and we pretty much wanted to put the Queen's birthday behind us and then focus on the second half of the year. So we actually firstly reviewed how our first half of the year was and gave some feedback to the coaches and things that we wanted to work on as a playing group. And then move forward onto looking at the second half of the year and we're pretty excited in the position that we're sitting now, 8-4. So we've given ourselves a great opportunity and, really excited to look forward to the second half.
Maxie, how does the review process change with the bye, not having the week after?
It was a tad more unique this week. Because we have the bye, but we go into a Friday night game and coming off a Monday game, it's actually a short bye. So we managed to get our 4 days off straight away. So we had our review after the game, which is, that's a talent for the coaches to be able to produce a review in 40 minutes. It was a bit more of a passionate review, as you can imagine. We hadn't all swallowed the loss in as quickly as possible. As you can imagine, Jonesy was still very grumpy. He hadn't had his bottle of red and his 12 hours sleep yet. So so that was quite unique, but it worked, which is good. We were very clear going into our bye what we needed to do, and then coming back from the bye was straight away into Port Adelaide, which is what we needed to do. There was one thing that we did do on the Tuesday in Foundation Heroes, which we'll get into a little bit later, but then we had the bye from there. So very, very excited to play Port this week.
And what were the takeouts from that Collingwood game?
The Collingwood game by itself, again, that's why it's unique when you review the first half of the year after a loss. Sometimes you can put a negative thought on all 12 weeks. When you actually sit at 8-4, you got to look at the glass half full rather than half empty. First time I've used that expression. How'd it go? Did it sound like I say it all the time, doesn't it? So the Collingwood game, we got beaten in the inside, which was pretty obvious with our clearance work, which is 2 weeks in a row, which we're not really stoked about. And their forwards were very good as well. So they're a quality team, and we knew they'd be. So unfortunately, we don't play them again this year. But when we get them again, we've got to play some better footy.
Well, Harmesy, pretty easy to take the glass half full on this one, but you're playing some great footy, great consistent footy.
Rolls off your tongue as well.
Doesn't it?
Yeah. I guess it's probably been my most consistent year on the field, and it's a lot easier to play good footy when the team's playing well. But I played probably a bit of a different role this year, moving to the midfield. And when you got Big Maxi hitting them down your throat, it's pretty easy to get on the end of it. But yeah, I'm loving footy and loving life as well.
He's got into the swing of the podcasting. Just pump up Maxi. That seems to be the guy.
I'm in every answer at the moment.
Well,
this is phenomenal.
Yeah, funny that. As you said, you have been thrown around a bit over your career. You've spent even a little bit of time in the ruck. How did he go, Maxi?
He's still complaining about his shin. So it was round 3, was it?
Yep.
And he's still got a sore shin. So poor little Jim. We'll get an ice pack on it, and hopefully it heals up.
One a few hit outs though.
You did, and actually a couple of clearances as well.
Yep.
It's a trend that's going around in the AFL at the moment with the small rucks. Works for some, works for others. It turned out it didn't work for us. So Jim was quickly out of there pretty quickly. But Tim Smith and Cam Pedersen and Sam Wiedemann are sharing it between the three of them at the moment, which is good, isn't it?
Great. Yeah. All right, well, let's look at Port Adelaide quickly. Of course, I think the one thing from a supporter's point of view we were all looking forward to seeing was coming up against Swatsea, and it doesn't look like he's going to be there.
Yeah, well, it is. It's a bit like that, isn't it? I was a bit excited as well because obviously he took his number over. But yeah, hopefully he does get a game, but we'll see what happens. It
was the big four, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a big
four.
Don
Barry, Tumpus, Trengrove and Watson. We're not going to get one of them, which is what's it sounding like. I'm presuming people might know by the time this podcast is out, but I'm relatively excited if Watsy does play to be able to have a little chat with him out on the field, but it doesn't look like it's going to happen.
He wouldn't give. I don't reckon he'd give you much back. Watsy.
Nah, but they're a relatively vocal team, Port Adelaide, and we have some good banter sessions out on the ground when we play them, especially over at Adelaide Oval. They're up and about at their own home, so. For those watching, especially those at the ground who can see the whole ground, there's going to be some good stuff going on this week.
What is it like to play at Adelaide Oval with Port fans particularly? Because they do get up and about, don't they?
Yeah, they do. I think I've only played them once there, but I do remember when we played them that you got to kind of make your own atmosphere out there. So when you kick a goal, I feel like it's really important that the boys get around each other and try and create some energy because... you kick a goal and no one really cheers for you. So, yeah, it's a pretty hostile environment, but we're actually really looking forward to the challenge to getting over there and taking on a good side. And we know it's going to be really competitive.
So get creative with the goal celebrations, you reckon?
Yeah, that's it.
Well, it's World Cup time, so...
I actually changed my alarm to never tear us apart this week just so I can really get used to it. And I hate waking up, so... Now I hate that song. So when that comes on, I'm going to be angry, which is beautiful. It's exactly how we want it. It is World Cup time, though, isn't it?
Yeah,
do you
have
have a team?
Been watching it?
No,
I'm not. A team?
Yeah, Australia?
It's got to be Socceroos.
Yeah, but they're going to be out in a couple days. So do you have a team?
New Zealand have a team or no?
New Zealand failed in qualifying this year, but we were close. We were in there last year, last time.
No, I'm not a big soccer fan, so I actually haven't watched one bit of it.
Really?
Yeah.
Come on.
Nah.
You haven't watched one bit?
Not one bit.
Watching the cricket, though?
No. Haven't watched the cricket.
With rugby?
No.
What are you doing?
I've been watching Netflix.
Yeah, that's the modern age, isn't it?
Kids these days.
I asked Lachlan Filipovic, for those that don't know, young ruckman on the list. I roomed with him in our Sunshine Coast trip. And I asked him, I said, can you put it on Channel Go, please? And he goes, what's Go? I said, it's Channel 90. He goes, at home, I watch Netflix and Xbox. So I'm like, he didn't even know what normal TV was.
No wonder us TV types are in trouble.
What channel is the soccer on?
SBS. It's on nothing at the moment. It's somewhere in the sky. We can't actually view it.
Yeah, right.
SBS are doing a great job for the 2 hours on Wednesday morning at 6:30 a.m. But Optus have struggled with that. We're not sponsored by Optus, are we, Stefan? No, we're not. That's good.
No, just our good friends at Zurich, of course. Harmesy, what is the go-to then on Netflix? Or what is your, outside of footy, what do you do to relax and get away from the game?
Yep, so my go-to on Netflix at the moment is Animal Kingdom. Good little series if anyone wants to start one. And outside of footy, I'm studying Cert 4 and Diploma in Building. And other than that, just like to go out and have a surf. Head back home, see my family. I've got a little niece out there, Parker, who I love dearly. And yeah, other than that,
you're
really
a little bit clucky, aren't you?
I am a bit clucky, yeah.
You just got to find.
Just don't have a girlfriend.
So do you?
Yeah, I know, but I'm a little bit. I'm a step ahead of him.
Yeah, I don't have a girlfriend yet, so I'm a fair way off. But yeah,
you haven't mentioned the key ingredient to your life yet.
What's that?
Sunny.
Oh, Sunny, yeah. And I've got a little sausage dog at home, Sunny, who is just adorable, and Maxie loves her. We haven't had a play date for a while.
She's a bit of a growler. I find her a tad grumpy.
Nah, she's a happy little dog.
Maybe around you.
Her name's Sunny.
Yeah, what was the other name you were tossing up with?
Shelby.
And we went with Sunny.
Yeah, Sunny's a winner.
Yep.
Sunny runs off. No, it's actually a cool little sausage dog. For those that follow James on Instagram, at James Harms 4, I believe.
James Harms _4.
Sorry.
No, _Harms at 4. I've completely got that wrong.
You're not getting a follower out of that plug, are you? For those that do follow him, he puts up a lot of Sunny stuff, and it's a very, very cute dog. So yeah, I touched on it earlier in the podcast. Foundation Heroes is a great event. Obviously, for those that don't know, about 10 years ago, Jim Steins, Don McClarty, and the crew started an event called Foundation Heroes, which saved the club in a way. I'm sure there's some Foundation Heroes listening to this podcast that would like a little plug, but I'm not going to plug 590 names, so I won't go with that. But what they did see that night is a hypnotist, and a few of the boys got up, about 10 boys, and with hypnotists, only some of them get hypnotised, some of them don't. So 5 players got kicked off the stage, and it wasn't a coincidence which 5 were gullible enough to follow the hypnotist.
All right, name names.
So Dean Kent, Jaden Hunt, Clayton Oliver, a random 50-year-old, and yours truly over there, James Harms. Tell me about it. Do you remember much, or were you just hearing his voice, or?
The weird thing is, I remember the whole thing, but I knew what I was doing, but I couldn't stop doing it. So, there was a few little different things that we did. When I was riding the kangaroo, I knew exactly what I was doing, and I couldn't stop. It was one of the weirdest things I've ever done in my life.
So just to clear things up, because no one knows what's saying, there was a kangaroo race between the 5 people that were up there that believed they were on a kangaroo trying to ride, and it quite possibly the funniest half an hour I've been involved in, Caty. And we always get entertainment at the Foundation Heroes, and I think this one really topped it off. So the guys over the road that organised that, easily the best one. I saw Chris Dawes sing Oprah once, which... Opera. Jeez, that's poor, isn't it? Oprah.
You're doing well if you could
sing with Oprah. It was a duet, was it? So it was great to watch, and the fact that I saw Harmesy calling a guy gorgeous for a good 5 minutes was...
What were some of the things that you had to do?
Yeah, that was one. So obviously when you get hypnotised, he puts you to sleep all the time, and then he'll tell you what the next activity or whatever the thing he wants you to do is next. And the one for me was the 50-year-old bloke sitting next to me. He was the best-looking person in the world, and I couldn't stop looking at him. So for 5 minutes, I honestly was just staring at him, and in my head, I was thinking, this is so weird, but I couldn't stop. And then he's asked me, how's he look? And I was just like, he's gorgeous. And I was convinced he was. He wasn't a bad-looking bloke either. He was a bit of a rooster.
He actually was gorgeous.
Yeah.
In fairness.
Yeah.
Your hypnotist self is quite a good judge of looks.
That's
he
right.
was gorgeous.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So maybe let's stick on the look for the girlfriend instead of the 50-year-old bloke, I reckon.
Yeah, I think so.
Surely there's one around the corner for you, a girlfriend.
I feel like you've dropped it in conversation a few times.
I reckon
already.
I've dropped it once. He's dropped it a few times.
So you've dropped
Max
it in
has.
conversation with Caty a couple of times, have you? Come on, James.
Well, Malky we might have got confused there.
6 years single. Surely there's something. What are we going to go to? We're going to go to some questions, Caty?
We are, after this very short break, of course, we are here thanks to Zurich on Inside Melbourne.
Beautiful.
Thanks to our co-major partner and podcast sponsor, Zurich. For over 100 years, they've been ensuring the people and things you truly love. And just like you, they truly love footy and truly love Melbourne.
Welcome back to Inside Melbourne, proudly brought to us by our great friends at Zurich. How'd that go? I nailed that. I've brought us back for the first time. Those guys who are passionate podcasters, you'd know that I literally take a back seat and don't bring us back, but I decided to bring us back from the break, and I think I nailed it.
Stepping up your podcast game. I like it.
Yes.
Well, of course, thanks to Zurich, we have a question every week, which is, for our special guests, what do you truly love, Harmesy?
Good one, Zurich. To be honest with you, I truly love... Why are you laughing at that, Max?
It's just great. Our people at Zurich, they're great people.
I truly love getting over to Bali and having a holiday. Get over there, surf in the sun, just good vibes and having fun.
Something about being in the ocean, isn't there?
Yeah, I love the ocean. Ever since I was a little tacker, Mum would tell you I love the ocean. I'd go for a surf and I'd be in there for 6 hours and Mum would pretty much have to drag me out to get me home. So, yeah, I love it.
Got any Bali tattoos there?
I've got one Bali tattoo. It's a little anchor on my foot, which is the first one I got, actually.
First tat?
Yeah.
Well, there's a couple of questions from the outer about the tats. So, okay, so that's where it started.
Yep.
But are we filling up both arms? Are we inspired by Jonesy? What's happening?
Not inspired by Jonesy, no. But I'm not sure if I'll fill up the other arm. I'll definitely fill up my leg to like my knee. And then we'll see how it goes from there. But yeah, I love tattoos, and I'm not very artistic, but yeah, I love the look of tattoos.
Did you say your anchor was the first tattoo from
The
Bali?
anchor was.
Okay, well, this is from at Blake Malone.
Yep.
What was your first tattoo and what does it mean to you? So obviously there's some sort of hidden agenda behind this meaning.
Well, there was an anchor on my foot already before Bali, and then I got it touched up in Bali.
Okay, so why did you get the anchor on your foot?
Well, all of my mates from back home have the anchor, so it was a home job. And then when I was in Bali, I thought, you know what, I'll get it fixed up because it was no good.
You got a home job?
Yep.
Okay.
Kids, don't try that at home, please.
Don't try that.
A couple of questions here from the outer. Brett Whittington and Chris Bassett. Don't forget us Clyde primary school guys as well as the Clyde Cricket Club fellas.
Yeah, right. There you go. Yeah, I do remember those two boys. Chris obviously went to Clyde primary school with me. He's a passionate team supporter. I remember him being one when I was younger. And yeah, I used to play cricket down at Clyde.
How'd you go?
Not too bad. Maxie would know. In the change rooms, we have a cricket game here and there. Maxie, you rate yourself as a keeper, might I add? Or?
A keeper?
Yeah, I've got great hand-eye. So my ability to keep up to the stumps...
Can you get low enough?
Yeah, that's the problem. But my ability to keep up the stumps for a medium pacer sets me apart from the other guys that think they can keep. But be careful throwing it to me during questions because I was focused on other stuff.
Sorry, mate. Sorry. Yeah, I was probably, as a junior cricketer, I was probably a better cricketer than footballer, but then football kind of took over. So, yeah.
Okay.
This is from at James Magna 23. Caty, if you don't know, which I'm sure you probably don't because you're probably still over in WA when this was happening. Mags used to play at the club.
Yes, no, I knew that.
You knew that, okay.
Yeah.
Ask him about that time he cramped at 3/4 time because he had the flu.
Yeah, good one, Max. I had to tag Magna in Port Melbourne when he was playing at Port Melbourne. I was playing at Caty, and I actually had gastro all week. And And as you would know, Mags is a great runner. And he ran me off my feet, and I was cramping at 3/4 time, and I said to him, "No, you got me here, mate. I've had the flu a week, or I had gastro a week," and he didn't believe me. And then Jonesy had to tell him during the week that I actually was sick all week, and it wasn't just him running me off the legs. Yeah.
Now, this actually came up in the podcast a couple of weeks ago, and we've got the follow-up question here from K. Rob. Are you the best karaoke singer going around at the D's?
Well, Maxie would know firsthand that I actually am, I reckon, the best karaoke singer.
The best karaoke singer. He actually... Yeah.
And if anyone wants to challenge me, I'm happy to get on the podcast.
I've witnessed his best.
I'm laying down the challenge right now. Can you give us, what's your go-to song?
What did I sing? Oh, I sang
Californication's probably the one. Californication's the one that when someone says, "Is Harmesy a good singer?" the first thing that pops up in my head is Californication. Okay. And also, I played a word association game the other day, and someone said horrible singer, and I said Harmesy Californication. So he really did a bad remedition.
Remedition? Did you really?
Is that the way to say it?
Rendition?
Damn it. I thought I was onto a winner then. First time I've said that word as well. I felt like I'm using it well in context, just got the wrong pronunciation. Right. Yeah, a really bad one in Bali, you forgot the words. But then you've done a Jack Johnson banana pancakes and smashed it out of the park.
Yeah, I've done a few, but...
Can you give us a couple of lines?
Give us a banana pancakes if you want.
I'm gonna get it.
No, it's not. I haven't told the podcast listeners that I'm the singer.
Make a banana pancakes, pretend like it's a weekend now. And we can pretend it all the time.
Yes.
That's all I've got for you.
Not bad. I'm impressed.
Yeah, but as you know, karaoke, you get the crowd going as well, so it's hard to do it on the podcast.
The crowd always goes wild.
Yeah, so...
For our next ad break, we will potentially not go to an ad break and just have a song. We'll have a song.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll just throw it to the top 20, James Harms.
Yeah, can do.
Potentially. Now, I feel like this could be your friend, but we'll take it with a grain of salt. At Tom Burt, he wants to know a couple of things, but the main one is your favourite hand in Texas Hold'em and why?
Yeah. Gee whiz. I'm going to go with 9-10 suited, and because you can obviously connect up in the straight or connect down.
Okay.
What about you, Max?
I'll take a pair
apart from pocket aces.
I'll take a pair of aces. Isn't that the best?
Obviously, that's a hard question to answer because obviously pocket aces is the best hand to have.
Caty, James rates himself as a poker player, so there's a bit of tongue-in-cheek here by Tom Burt, I think.
In a few
and he put in two. He said science or religion as well. Is that some sort of inside joke or...?
I don't know about that.
What is your spirit animal? Another one from Tom.
Spirit animal is a horse, and that was given to me from him because of the teeth.
Oh, right.
Big teeth, so yeah.
And what came first, the chicken or the egg?
Oh, gee whiz. The egg.
That's bizarre.
Why?
Just eggs falling out of the sky, is it?
Yes.
Okay, one maybe a bit more serious, I'm not sure, because I don't know what your answer is going to be. From Charlie, what is your biggest fear?
I'm pretty scared of snakes. I don't like snakes. Like, I hate them, to be honest with you. And other than that, sharks are pretty scary as well.
Surfer. Maxie, what's yours?
Sorry, there's a funny question coming up. Mine,
your biggest fear?
Believe it or not, I hate being I love music and love festivals, but I hate being there because I hate the feeling of people being behind me and not being able to see. And that's one of my biggest fears is being in a public place like a music concert and people standing behind me and not being able to... I just feel so self-conscious about that person hating life. I can't just wipe it off my shoulder and go, that's... Yeah, I know.
Oh, gentle giant.
I know. People think I'm this extroverted, just big guy. No. I can't cop that.
Mine's frogs.
Frogs?
Yeah, terrified. Absolutely terrified.
Why?
Oh, because they jump and they're unpredictable and just no good.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
I wasn't expecting that.
No.
Now, you have a big mouth, which is... I mean, it's quite... There's a lot of questions about it.
There is, actually.
But the main one I'm going to run with is at Crawfrat32.
yeah.
But at Stacey Lee also said it. Is it true you can wrap your whole mouth around an entire apple?
Thank you, Sam, for that question. And no, that is not true. Oh, actually, maybe if it was a small apple, I might be able to, but not a big one.
So you got that big of a mouth.
Well, you already know that, Max.
And then there's another one. Can you eat an apple for a wire fence? Sorry.
How does that? I don't know. I don't even know how that works.
All right. Well, I put this out to the Twitterverse as well.
Yep.
Last night. Got one back.
Yep.
Yeah, this one. Interesting one. Are people who work in sky rises in the city instructed to leave their lights on, or do they forget to turn them off? Ask Gawn Dog 37, that one. It comes from Max Gawns.
Okay, yep. Okay, so that one, you're throwing that to me?
Yeah.
Okay. So I obviously asked the question last night.
Bored much?
Well, I was driving and then pulled over and wrote the tweet, obviously. Are you, like at 3 a.m., I wasn't driving at 3 a.m., but this happens at 3 a.m., but I was driving at about 9 p.m. and every skyrise in the city had like scattered lights on. And I'm thinking, like, do people forget to turn their office light off on their way home, or are some people instructed to leave them on so the skyrise is visible? What do you reckon?
Gee whiz. I don't know why you're thinking about this at night, but anyway.
Harmsy's just got a massive
What is it? Is it more normal if I think of it during the day?
What I'm thinking is, I've watched Suits on Netflix.
Yes.
And they're there working pretty late, so maybe they were just there working. Oh, you're talking at 3 a.m.
The same thing happens at 3 a.m. There is lights on, and I guarantee you there's no one in that room. And it's not the same light every night.
I'm going to say they're told to leave them on so that lights up
It's a
lights up
roster
the sky.
system.
You've done some work in the city. Is there? Are you told to leave your light on, or where is
Maybe
Channel
they're
10?
just afraid of the dark. No, we're in South Yarra, so
Is it a sky rise?
only the best for us at 10.
Is it a sky rise?
It is. All 6 levels of it.
No,
It
not
kind
really.
of counts.
No.
All right, boys. One from Adam. He says, which ground do the players enjoy playing at the most, other than the MCG, of course?
Don't sell yourself short here. This is at Ebden Murdergrid, I think.
Yep.
Adam. He starts the question by saying, "Hey, Katie, well done on the podcast so far."
And
so give yourself some credit first, okay? And of course, Adam, it's like, "Hey, Katie and Max," I'm guessing, should be there. But anyway, the question.
My favourite's Etihad, actually. Quick deck. Had a few good games there over my time. I don't know about Maxi.
I love the G, but that's a part of the question. Not allowed to answer the G. So, Darwin.
Yeah, right.
Good answer.
We love our people up in NT. They're a great sponsor of ours, and just love getting up to Darwin. That great 4-hour flight.
All right. Well, Tommy asks, who was your childhood idol? Because you, of course, grew up supporting the Ds.
My demon childhood idol was probably, it's a weird one, Travis Johnston.
Okay.
Used to love watching him play. Then he obviously got traded to Brisbane. And then just in real life, probably Kelly Slater. Just watching him surf and go about it. So, yeah.
You like surfing, do you?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
Did you know he also needs a girlfriend?
Yes. And actually, that's one of these questions. Apparently, you always say, "Might I add?" Is that true?
It's not true, but it's a bit of a running joke with one of my mates. Is that from Cab?
Yeah.
Cabs?
At Cabs.
Yeah.
But
Might I
so
add?
you don't do it. Might I add? Anyway. Now, your nickname,
The Nut.
The Nut. Well known, I'd say, around Melbourne circles now. I'd say some supporters would be under the impression that your nickname's The Nut.
I think so, yeah.
So, Katie, did you know?
Well, yeah. Well, there's actually one from one of our biggest fans here, I reckon, Stefan, who actually asked, what is your favourite nut?
What is my favourite nut? My favourite nut is cashew, I reckon.
Good choice.
Why is that? Really
taste
really
nice.
break it down for us. Why would it be a
taste the
cashew?
best.
You
Taste the
reckon?
best. Yep. Good flavour, good texture, and just an all-round good nut.
See, personally, I'm an almond man.
Yeah.
In particular, Australian almonds.
Why is that?
They're just a great quality nut. I did do a little bit of work for Australian almonds, and I thought that was a chance to get a little plug in, and I ran with it. So deal with it. This is from Luke at Luke Boyle Photography. Oh, is that another friend? Have we got any supporters?
Yeah, this is all friends.
Why are your ankles fat? That's the first part of the question. And the second part of the question is, do you think you make a fine musician? Which we've already touched on. So the first, we'll stick with the first one and we'll go off the cankles. Is that genetic or probably...
I actually have no idea why I've got cankles, and I actually hate them. I genuinely hate them. But it doesn't get to my heart, but I hate them.
Jeez, I feel real bad. I didn't know.
Should we talk about your toes?
Yeah.
Nah, it's not like that. They're just like my worst feature is my cankles, I reckon.
Yeah, I mean, that's not bad.
Yeah.
Oh.
Just, I mean, I feel real bad because a lot of these questions aren't going to reflect you as the person that I know you are. Like, what are your ATAR results? That's gonna that's not gonna look good for you.
I actually don't even know them.
Oh dear. All right. Well, on that note, we might move on then. Just looking ahead to this week, must be looking forward to getting back on the Friday night stage.
Yeah, obviously, as I said before, really excited to get up to Adelaide and play Port. It's going to be a huge challenge for us. We know that they're going to be bringing their contested ball, and that's something we really pride our game on. So, yeah, it'll be really exciting, and it's a big game, and we love big games. So, yeah.
It's, the Friday night thing, I'm not going to buy into too much that we don't get Friday night games because I feel Sunday afternoons as important and probably as
and
watched.
Given some of the Friday night games on the fixture this season.
Yeah, but if it's me watching football, I don't watch Friday night. So I'd rather the good teams play on the Sunday arvo when I watch it. So yes,
it's all about you.
Yeah, correct. Mm-hmm. It would be better to get Friday night games because it's earlier in the week, weekend off. But in terms of broadcast viewing, I'm not sure if I don't have figures behind me to back this up, but I'd say it wouldn't be as alarming to not play Friday night as it has been in the past. So I know there's all this carrying about doggies and Carlton playing a lot of Friday night footy and us not and other teams not. It doesn't really bother me, but we got our opportunity this year. It's our only one, and we only had one last year, and we didn't make a good fist of it. So hopefully we go a little bit better this year. Well,
I'm sure that there will be plenty of people watching this Friday night because it's going to be an absolute ripper against Port Adelaide. Harmesy, thank you so much for joining us on Inside Melbourne.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Would you recommend this to your friends, this podcast?
Yes, but I wouldn't recommend getting their friends to ask the questions.
No, fair enough too. Maxie, thanks so much for having been along for the ride again.
No worries, and of course, thank you, Caty, for co-hosting a beautiful show. I think we nailed it today, and hopefully we can remember Harmesy in a couple of weeks. Yes,
I promise we will. All right, thank you so much to Zurich once again for getting behind Inside Melbourne, and we'll catch you next week. Go D's.